All right, guys. Trigger in the top right of the map. He's going up against Liquid CLEM. It's the Rongyi Cup quarterfinals. Two best friends. Two players who like spamming buttons. These two guys are obsessed with speed mining with their workers and doing ridiculously little, small, micro, high APM things to optimize their builds. However, this is an immediate probe scout, and he is going to go in and block the barracks, forces the barracks to go a bit further back, and he's moving another probe across. So this is a pylon gate gas into proxy pylon. He's going to do a... Ooh, Trigger did this versus Beyond, right? Was it Beyond, guys, when he did a 3-gate? He proxied 2 gates on, was it White Rabbit? What was the map? Someone remembers this. Surely someone in chat remembers this. I thought it was a 2nd gate proxy, but it was 2 gateways that he proxied. I think he's doing that build. This is really disruptive. I mean, this is so inefficient because he sent a probe across at the start and a proxy probe out. But talk about a committed push. Oh, man. And he chronos 2 stalkers out of these gateways the moment the Cybercore is done. There's a lot of different things going on. There's a lot of different things going on here. Interesting. Two SCVs of that. We've got a Reaper on the way in orbital as well. Command center does go down. Cybercore's coming. A few more probes getting drip fed out, but only 13 on minerals right now. CLEM has not worker scouted. He does not have a wall off in place. He does not have a bunker building. And these 2 stalkers are going to wreak havoc. Cybercore just seconds away from finishing. 14 probes on minerals, 3 on gas. That's including this probe that's going home. And it's a double stalker chrono and an adept from this side of the map that can, of course, defend the Reaper potentially. But the Reaper is scouting for the proxy. And I was wondering, why the hell did he put the gateways up here? And I think now we know, because he studied CLEM's scouting pattern, and CLEM's checking everywhere except there. Oh, man. I mean, you'll see the stalkers coming in, but it does not matter. There is no way that bunker gets up. CLEM needs to run to the high ground right now and build a bunker up here. He's trying to build more Marines, but one Marine's already gone down. He's going to try and build a tech lab to get a Marauder out. His factory's on the way, but it's nowhere near done. 2 SCVs already falling. Oh, the Stalkers! They do try to run up the ramp, but the SCVs are there to body block. Got to be careful with that yellow hit point Stalker. More Adepts are on the way. He's going to start probing behind this. He does need to keep building probes, but he's supply booked on 31 right now as Trigger. And Trigger, of course, will be thinking about taking a Nexus in a little while. I don't think he's looking for the kill here, but honestly, he could get it, man. He runs up, kills the Marine. The Reaper takes a bunch of shots. CLEM has no range damage, man. He does throw a grenade to buy time. He needs this Marauder to pop out on the right side and then focus fire this yellow hit point Stalker while his SCVs fight it. The Reaper tries to do some combat drugs. Hellion pops out of the midst of it. Marauder will focus the yellow hit point Stalker. Can he take care of it? That yellow hit point Stalker, it's going to pull to the right side. He needs to send the SCVs to kill this Stalker. The SCVs are not going to be able to do it. The Marauder does get focused down. The red hit point Stalker, it needs to get targeted, but CLEM just has nothing, and Trigger gets an easy game 1 victory. Way too easy. Trigger with a 6 start to the quarterfinals after a surprise run through the group stage. All right, guys, we got Trigger in the bottom right side of the map, and if you're going to punch up and beat the incumbent favorite, the Beast, then you want to start with a game like that, don't you? CLEM now, does he play safer off that? Wouldn't it be cool if Trigger just does the same build? Obviously, it doesn't look like he's going to now, as he's not sending a probe across yet. And you can see he's been speed mining a little bit with some of these workers. You can see the little shifty clickies there. Him and CLEM are 2 of the biggest spammers of this, especially on these further away mineral patches on the diagonal in the middle. Those are some of the ones you can get really good value from. You see Barracks gas starts, and then he says, oh, got a bit of spare APM, might as well shift click them just to stop them from decelerating. You see these guys who aren't being microed down the bottom? You can see they just kind of decelerate as they're getting to the minerals, as they're returning the minerals. Whereas these ones that are getting microed are actually moving back and forth a little bit quicker. So he rallies one onto gas, rallies one from the command center onto gas, makes the guy that built the gas go to the inside before he starts mining. Key bit of micro. The reason we do that, guys, top Terran players, is otherwise the SCV that built the refinery has dibs on mining the first gas, but he takes like 1.5 seconds to hop off the gas and then hop inside it, during which time if you tell him to move away from the gas so that he doesn't take dibs, your other SCVs can already start mining, and then he can get in there for the 3rd trip. So it's just a bit more efficient if you do it that way. Means you can start your Reaper immediately, or Reactor if you're planning to do that. Now, looks like he's going to go Command Center on the low ground. And he's going for Marine first. Question, does he send the Marine down to kill the probe? Or does he try to hide it on the low ground? Oh, he's going to try. Yeah, I think hide it since the probe's running away. Oh, he's going to try and go to the ledge now. So if the probe comes back and Trigger's not looking, he might die to the Marine. Trigger has gone for a Cybercore before Nexus, so he'll be chronoing an Adept out across this map. WTF, that's actually insane. I'm assuming that makes a difference at top levels. To give you guys just a little bit of context on that, Cyril thinks this stuff is stupid. He's like, dude, yeah, it probably gives you maybe 20 more minerals by the end of the early game. And he specifically said, if you have to do that every game to be competitive at the top, that might be the day I retire. So even Sarah, he's probably kind of joking, but Sarah's like, it just seems like such a dumb, like, is this a strategy game or are we just clicking buttons mindlessly? You know, but it's funny because Trigger and Clem are at the forefront of kids who play so fast, so naturally. And for them, StarCraft is part strategy game, part rhythm game, you know? It's, what's the game where you, like, you got a geometry dash or, like, one of those, like, jumping games or something like that, you know? Essentially, they're playing Flappy Bird while everyone else is thinking they're just playing a real-time strategy. Stepped at the front of the base. Yeah, they both love Osu. They do play a lot of Osu. I don't know about Clem these days, but I know Trigger loves Osu and loves playing all sorts of weird games with his custom cursors. So you guys can see on Trigger's stream, he'll often have a cursor that fills up like 1/3 of the screen, and it's just like a GIF or some stupid face or something like that. And he will play incredibly high-level StarCraft with it. I'm not really sure why he does this, but somehow I think he thinks it makes him better by practicing with a cursor that's like a giant stupid face or something. Oh, Cyclone's going to come out. He wants to trap the Stalker. Oh, he doesn't quite get the lock on the Marine. Get out of the way. Let the Cyclone go. But Cyclone on its own can't kill this. Ah, second Stalker gets good damage. He can't kill that Cyclone. Yeah, Trigger, though, goes for the Cyclone. Does lose the Adept. Nice micro on both sides. Ooh, early medevac tank. He's going to do a push. There are 2 gates, Blink, and a very quick third. 2-gate Blink Robo is very vulnerable to these sort of early push-outs, but the Marines have already taken a lot of damage. Oh, and Trigger's going to ambush here. Gets himself a few of these Marines. Oh, only one. I thought he'd get a few more there. Now the medevac arrives, which means maybe he'll be able to heal this army up. Oh, the Cyclone. He brings the medevac forward. He didn't let the medevac heal because he specifically didn't want to give up the vision across these site blockers. Really smart move for Clem. I was like, why is this medevac not healing? But he specifically wanted it to be on move command so he could see over. Gets himself a Stalker kill. He falls back. He said, no, I can't push into this. Trigger's forward presence with the Stalkers is too good. He's going to go 3 barracks, Raven behind it. So Raven will go around the left side of the map probably. Maybe the right. Probably the left, I think, is a good angle. Come in here and harass this base. Maybe sneak around the back to the main as well. I do think you've got a little bit of dead space. I think you can hide an air unit here. You guys tell me. I'm not 100% sure. If there's a Stalker on both sides, can you hide a medevac or a Raven there? I feel like you probably can, but the mineral lines are kind of far away, so not the best position. Third base already almost finished. Charge and Immortals are already on the way. 2 gateways coming in. Bunkers now got a few Marines inside. That is a joke. He actually uses a small circle the vast majority of the time. Yeah, well, when he's playing tournaments and usually he does use a custom cursor, not like mine. It's like a very small... Is it kind of like... It's almost like a Counter-Strike crosshair, right? Like he uses a little... Is it like a red or green circle, Mr. Big? Mr. Big's a big Trigger fan in the chat. I haven't watched one of Trigger's streams in a while, but I remember it looking quite... Or it's like a laser dot. It's just like a little red dot or something like that, or a small orange circle or something. Is it partly see-through, guys? Someone says orange, maybe red. I think it's pink, a small pink circle. Is it partially transparent? It's kind of fuzzy, so you can see under it a bit as well. Interesting. Yeah, I think he figures it just fills up less of his screen or whatever, and it's like, yeah. For a guy, for those who don't know, Osu is a kind of rhythm mouse accuracy training program, or I guess it's like a browser game, right? This wall off. Clem does not want to be dying to any Blink Stalkers today. Very safe opening. 3rd command center comes up. 4th and 5th barracks. +1 stim and shields are almost finished, but Trigger has had a free pass to 3 base. And now he's got a 4th coming up as well. I don't think you can let Trigger be this greedy. I don't know how you stop him being this greedy. I don't know if you can let him be this greedy. He's going to build a fourth in a moment. Extended Thermal Lances there. He's already got Charge and Blink. His Forge is the only thing that's been delayed. Look at that. 6 minute 43 fourth base. And then he's going to go double Forge next. I think double Forge will start up any moment now. Now, Clem, he doesn't see anything. He hasn't seen the bases. And he sees a big pack of Zealots. So he might think this is either a Zealot Storm style or a Mass Zealot style. And that's not correct. This is a pretty kind of standard build, but notice Trigger's skimped on Blink Stalkers. He's got very few Blink Stalkers, and that allows him to build actual good fighting units. Zealots, Colossus, Immortals, a Sentry for Guardian Shield. This is an amazing army for Trigger. He hasn't squeezed the double Forge in yet, which I'm a little bit questionable of. He's going to build an 8th Gateway and a single Forge to start, and he's waiting with these Zealots. He wants to counterattack. Both sides really vying for map control. A lot of respect for both players. You can tell they've played a lot of practice games together. They have, I believe they've kind of lived together in Korea for short stints practicing as well. They have played 2v2 tournaments on the same team as well. The Widowmine's coming in. Decent splashy there, but the Zealots will partially spread. Oh! Trigger gets on top, kills the tank before anything else happens. Great start. Clem finally does siege up. He's got Marauders and an auto turret on the front line. Should be able to get rid of this Nexus, I believe, but his third base is taking pretty big damage. Marines and Cyclone trying to defend at this base. The SCVs do try to fight at the same time. Army comes forward for Trigger. He does not want to give up that fourth base. He's trying to warp in Zealots. The Bio goes forward. The Colossus doing well. The Immortal finishes off the Siege Tank while the Colossus starts to step back. If he can hold this army, that's a massive hold for Trigger because he's killed 9 SCVs on the other side of the map. The Colossus, though. No, the Colossus goes down. Clem does manage to get one of those big juicies, but units lost tab. Well, it's still 1,400 in favor of Terran. But with the fourth base up, 12 worker advantage, killing 9 workers. I think this is okay for Trigger. He immediately remakes the Sentry because he knows he needs Guardian Shield. Every battle, Guardian Shield is so important at this level. He's building a third Colossus. Now, that's amazing because he's going to have 3 Colossus against only 2 Vikings popping out for now. So the Viking count will be a bit low. Problem. Trigger's upgrades suck. He's just now starting +1, but Clem's only now going double eBay Armory. So if a second Forge goes down, which I really think Trigger should have started a while ago, armor upgrades is so good, man. But pro players think armor upgrades are bad in this matchup because Protoss players have a very dumb... Oh, no, Trigger! No, mate, you can't give Clem more than 1 target. He will retarget endlessly. You can only give him 1 option or he will deny your mining forever. Mate, you need to give him 1 target. You can't give him more than 1. Guys, this is the rule. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Clem in PvT. The man can macro flawlessly while retargeting every 0.5 of a second. He's not gonna let it fire. You need to give him 1 target. When you're playing the top Terrans, there's no like, oh, I'll wait for him to make a mistake. It's not gonna happen. You gotta assume. Just pull everything away and leave a single target, or he will constantly change. Basically, the thing is, as long as he doesn't let it fire, it's not going to reveal itself. That's the problem there. All right. Good Zealot splitting from Trigger. Nice hold position. Zealot, pretty scary army. He's got +1 now. 4th Command Center is very exposed. Viking gets a good volley, though. Stalker's trying to deal with those Vikings. 1 Viking does go down. 1 Colossus very low. Command Center killed. No cancel. No cancel for Clem. No cancel for Clem, guys. Clem's going for 2-2, but he doesn't have Ghosts out yet. He's got 2 Starports making Vikings as well. Trigger's finding really crucial damage in this window. The lack of +2 or a second Forge means he doesn't have a lot of longevity. He is committing hard right here, right now. Trigger says, it's go time, baby. I got to find damage, but he doesn't want to overcommit. And that Colossus, the orange hit point Colossus, is way too far in front on its own. Vikings get another good volley off. Another Colossus shields go bye-bye. Zealot Stalker's going to go ham, man. The mineral line will take big damage. These Zealots need to pull back. The Zealots are way too far forward. The Colossus gets a big hit on the SCVs. 21 workers go down. Trigger needs to get out of here. I think Clem can maybe chase him and jump on this army. Clem just lost 21 workers. He needs a good fight. Trigger staying here is very ambitious. +2 and an Immortal has started. A 10th Gateway as well. Still 4 bases mining. Trigger's taking a 5th base behind this as well. You can see he's sending a probe out there right now. That Nexus is starting. Nice Colossus micro on the War Prism. Ooh, the Prism does get snapped, but these Colossus are trading really well on the retreat, man. Like, Trigger's army is getting overwhelmed. The supply is good for Clem, but I'm amazed how many units he's picking off on the way home. Now, this Colossus needs to get out of that. Colossus would have been really bad. He does recall that. And overall, 4,000 better trading for Clem. And he's got a 4th Command Center come out. He's fine. I can't believe he's fine. he's just traded so much better in army versus army that it doesn't matter. I think he's okay with his second forge being so late. Dude, this is such a cheap... This is like the biggest crime in top Protoss play right now. I get they want to push hard, but like a second forge and a +1 armor upgrade, it costs so little, man. You're going to have like 3 zealots less in your army. I really feel... I feel very passionately about this. I get he was only on 3 gas for a while. He's just gone up to these extra 2 gases in the last few minutes. But I feel like that's the big upgrade that just gets so slept on, man. Finally starts up now. Those zealots just disappear too quickly, man. The modern Viking is more microable than the old one. 25 minerals cheaper as well these days. It's insanely good at dealing with Colossus. I know a lot of pro-Europeans talk about the Colossus being a bit too good, though, in this matchup, which I definitely feel it's very good, but I mean, it's only because the players are so good at guarding it and microing it with warp prisms and stutter stepping. I feel like in the current balance of the game, I guess maybe it's my view is stilted because I watch too many CLEM games, but I feel like even when I watch like what I've loved about, was it Classic the other day or Hero? I think it was Classic, was just going to Colossus and then pivoting Disruptor Storm. And that felt like it was really good for like baiting and overcommitment into Vikings. I did enjoy that a lot. All right, Zealot Stalker on the left side. He's going to dive the Planetary. Clem's out of position. The Zealots will automatically attack the SCVs that are repairing these days. That's one of the better changes they ever added to StarCraft 2. Prism's going to get focused down. Vikings will clear the Colossus. And it's a big base snipe, but he's losing so many units. Bio, I'm surprised Clem's not stimming after this army. I guess he doesn't want to throw too many hit points away before the fight starts. Whoa, a lot of Vikings come from behind. The Disruptor goes down. The Vikings are going to say, okay, we probably shouldn't trade out purely against Zealots here. Clem will clear the army, but this is a 5-base Protoss. Oh, he hasn't transferred workers. Okay. Worker count's not that big. Only 69 workers. Trigger's supply is a bit small. Oh, good ball. Buys himself some time there. Remember, guys, we recently saw an interview, just a little clip posted on social media from Basilisk. They said, what's the most underrated unit right now in StarCraft? Trigger said the Disruptor. Thinks people are sleeping on the Disruptor right now. Said it's not crazy good, but it's definitely underrated by pro players who think it's garbage. Ooh, Zealot's getting jumped on as well. Zealot Stalker coming forward. That was a really bad fight for Trigger. That was a really bad fight. He just got so many units caught. Right when he's gone like double upgrades, double robo, he just threw away like a massive gateway units and... Oh no, he let him get the position! For those who don't know, Liberator there is untouchable unless you build a Stargate, which means Trigger is losing all the mining on his 4th base for now. That is a disaster. Only the gases. It's one of the worst spots on this map. A lot of Terrans still not taking advantage of it, but Clem does that almost every game on this map. And with the Liberator on the right side, when did that Lib come in? When he was losing the fight in the middle, guys? Is that why he was distracted, maybe? Oh, yeah, I think it was because he loves this. So you might wonder, why does he send a medevac? The medevac has more vision. They nerfed the Lib's vision. The medevac can stand in front to spot, and the Lib can sit on the edge, and you can't reach it without a Stargate. So this is why you'll see me every game I play this map, because this is the best 4th of Zerg. I build 2 spores, one here, because they always try to fly a Lib down the side, and I can kill it with 2 spores. 1 spore it can get past, 2 it cannot. But you need those things. So he just flies right there, and the Zealots get caught, the Disruptor gets caught. Oh, everything went to hell in a handbasket so quickly here. Pretty good high-pressure game for Trigger. I do like the way he kept the pressure on Clem. I wonder if there was a chance to maybe do a few more little Zealot run-bys in the natural or like a Prism in the back at all. It feels like he says, look, Clem's way too good with his Vikings. Prisms in the back aren't that big. We've got to focus on getting momentum and then just hitting the front. And he almost breaks him, but Clem holds on. All right, guys, we're going on to the map of the people who love a lot of feet. 10,000 feet. I think this map's made by Killer Smile, right, guys? I've realized that Killer Smile actually makes so many good maps. Lots of really good maps. Because I think Killer Smile made Mothership as well, right? I think they've got 2 maps in this season's ladder pool. And I was just talking the other day, because I was looking at a lot of maps, seeing if there's anything experimental we could use in upcoming tournaments. I think Pigfest, we're just going to use a normal ladder pool, because we don't have a lot of lead time on it to test things. But I think for Pigasaur, I'm going to see if Stego's open to us using a bunch of different maps, because I think if we wait for Blizzard to change the ladder pool and the season pool, we'll probably end up playing the same maps for a year and a half and it'll get really stale. So I was looking at different maps and I realized that maps, yeah, he's made a lot of maps that are unique and they kind of push the game into weird spaces without feeling grossly overpowered. Now don't get me wrong. People, my Zerg high-level friends are probably pretty mad at me. They're like, oh, you like 10,000 feet in Mothership? And I'm like, well, don't get me wrong. I do think they're probably a little weak for Zerg, but close enough that I don't think you look at it and you go, oh, it's an instant veto. Oh, it's so bad I can't win. Like, and I think it creates really interesting gameplay. Like Mothership, for instance, is one of those maps where you can... your bases are so spread out and exposed and hard to defend, but it's really long push paths for your opponent to get to you. So it's like, it's hard to defend these spread out bases, but your opponent also has to commit really far out onto the map and open themselves up to counterattacks to push them, which creates like a really interesting dynamic. Like I think if you're watching Mothership, especially when it's not Clem playing, it looks really balanced. When Clem's playing TVZ on Mothership, it kind of looks broken. But Clem kind of has that effect in a lot of games and a lot of maps, doesn't he? Here on 10,000 feet, I think this map, this base here is a bit difficult. I love taking this base as my third because it's really hard for them to Hellion harass. And then you can like run roaches across the map with like, you know, very little warning. And I play a lot of tricky builds on this map. I think playing, I played a Protoss game on this map the other day. And someone did siege a tank across there. And it was quite hard to deal with. But as a guy who likes to zealot counterattack, I kind of like people sieging up in these weird spots and me just running around and countering. Trigger's never really a charge first guy. I don't know if Trigger ever plays Stargate either, to be fair. I do think Stargate's a good choice for Winter Madness, knowing that there is that lib spot that's going to be abused most games. Isn't Mothership excellent for Zerg? Not really, no. I mean, the bases are spread out, which is good for Zerg in late game to snipe bases, but like, it's really hard for the Zerg to defend from like drops and multi-prong and prisms and things. I'd say Mothership's one of those like really balanced maps, but I think it's probably different depending on who you talk to. You guys let me know if you hear a pro say otherwise. I'd love to hear it. No, I'm not constantly asking pros all these questions. Clem hides the Reaper, comes in a bit late, but loses it for just a single probe. And the Stalker gets an SCV and gets out as well. Nice opening here for Trigger. Pig, what if you had a different mixture of maps and then the top rated maps from the groups became the playoff map pool? Too complicated. And same issue. We don't want to mess up groups either. Groups are still very brutal in Pigfest. Very competitive groups. So got to still give them the most competitive setting we can. See if he's going to pull away. Don't think this Adept escapes, but does waste a lot of time. And actually, is he going to track it? Clem's going to track it with the Hellion. Get back here. Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno. Let's take out the Adept. Robo and quick 4 gas after third. Whoa! Why does Trigger think he's so safe? Guys, is he just going to drop a Robo Bay in the next 3 seconds? Is this like one of these really fast Robo Bay builds? Or he could go Storm off this as well, right? Either way, it's splash damage early. Yeah, look at that, guys. Third gate and a Robo Bay at 4.5 minutes. Wow. Estrella used to love these builds. A mixture of really fast tech and a well-timed third. This third is like so fast. Man, that's crazy. Just a handful of Stalkers to defend. Raven's going to come around that right side. Pylon will spot this very early on. Now, on this map, you got to worry about this ledge. This ledge up here is the really annoying area where Terran drops mines and stuff. Stalkers are in the position. I think they should be on the high ground, though. He's not defending his natural. Trigger. Watch out, mate. That Raven could cause trouble. Stims on the way. Shields. +1. He's going to move to the front. I think this is a distraction. I think he just wants to move out, siege up here or something like that. Doesn't have scan energy, does he? He's got scan energy now. He's going to scan that observer. You could tell by the way he moved his army back and forth, he knew he was being watched. is waiting for the scan energy. But now it's a bit harder for Trigger to know. Is that army unsieging and moving to the left? Water turret comes in, doesn't get any kills. Trigger, very smooth response. Oh, that was pretty crisp. Don't see that every day. Raven, though, on this map, you got free, easy access to all 3 bases. Protoss never knows where you're going to come from. It was Trigger against Beyond, guys, wasn't it? The game where he won on White Rabbit or something, where Beyond had a Raven that killed like 32 workers. And he refused to build shield batteries, and he refused to do anything. He just tries to pull probes. Trigger makes StarCraft as hard as it can possibly be. This is why I say never copy a guy like Trigger or CLEM. They're so fast that they basically... And the thing is, this is more optimal because you can put that money elsewhere right now and get more of a lead to the point where you're far enough ahead you don't care about it. Because, yes, cumulative losses at the end of the game sound like a lot, but if you use that money to get an earlier 10 probes and an earlier bigger army out, you don't really care about this. As long as you feel like the APM stress isn't going to have a big negative effect. Oh, good scan. Gets rid of the Observer, the Urubu. Oh, no, he just pushed the Urubu around. It got kind of bruised there. Be careful, CLEM. Urubu, who are you? Does build a shield battery in the main. He's actually caving and building one in the main in natural this time, just a bit later. Which I think is perfectly fine, because he's lost very few. Only 3 probes in total. Only 2 to the Raven. Bit of mining time as well. Here we go. Zealots, go, go, go. If that Colossus can land hits on the Marines, Clem's in trouble. Good pullback. Oh, the Colossus go forward and force the siege. Only takes 1 tank shot. That was a really good micro by Trigger. If he kept chasing, his Zealots were going to start getting gunned down while his Colossus and Stalkers were kind of dragged behind. But 4th base goes down, and he's in a brilliant position. 7 gates, +1 attack is way faster this game as well. Clem here looking very fearful. Clem is really not doing anything to put Trigger on the ropes, is he? He's giving Trigger a lot of respect. This is 3 games into the series, and I don't feel like he's done anything out there. Clem's got to be careful not to become too predictable in this series. He's doing almost the exact same thing he did last game, and don't get me wrong, he came back and won. Trigger's a very good player. I don't think you can just do the same thing every game against him, because it will be very predictable, and the onus is on you here to not make any mistakes with this style. But I do like the Widowmine drop mixing in. That's really cute. That's really cute, because he's got Widowmine and Raven harass. Now, obviously, Raven hasn't done anything, because the shield battery's everywhere. 4th base is now there. Still not many probes, though. Making High Templar, I'd love to see him feedback some of these things, but I think it's just Archons. Ghosts are not out yet, guys. Do you have a Ghost Academy, right? Oh, no Ghost Academy. Actually, the Ghosts are a bit slower this game. Ghosts are definitely a bit slower. Did the Urubu get killed? I know it got bullied before. It got pushed around by the army. This Urubu is still here. Just having a peck at the ground. Not the smartest place to look for seeds. This reminds me of the pigeons in my neighborhood, guys. They have 0 survival instincts. This is an all-in. He's waiting for +1. He all-ins in 10 seconds. Oh, God. Clem has no idea. Guys, we're on Clem's camera. Clem has no idea. Clem has no idea. He needs his Marauders in front, his Marines behind, and he needs his army further in front of his siege tanks. He needs his army further in front. His Marines are exposed. Clem not watching. The tanks are going to get taken out. He needed to engage further out front so that he could protect the tanks. The tanks, one of them goes down. One of them does survive. Ooh, Colossus. Can he get rid of the Colossus? Oh, he's got to be careful about chasing into that arc on Colossus splash. 1 tank survived. 11 workers do go down. +2 starts. 3 more gateways as well. It's going to be 10 gates, 4 bases. Still not the biggest worker count. This is very much how Koreans play. Trigger is playing Korean style, like Zaun style PvT. I'm going to stop at 69 workers, and I'm just going to make this army, and I'm going to keep attacking. But Clem is a master of defending this style. And I don't know, man. It does feel a little simplistic. And as I see the first attack get held, I always think, well, is this really the right way to play against him? Oh, turrets are going to take out the cannon. Starting a new cannon, that's a free kill. Cancels it, though, reactively. And loses a couple probes. Cannon and a battery together should be enough. Never seen a PvT where a cannon in each mineral line wouldn't be worth it? Well, if you play a different build, it actually is worth it. If you play an early Forge and you skip the Robo, you build a safety cannon in each mineral line because you don't have observers, number one, and you don't have as much map vision, so you're not going to see things coming, so it gives you a really good stopgap. So there is a build you can do that. Now, Ozprotus is discussing this in chat, saying, well, it's worth it if it saves you losing 15 probes. Actually, no. If you spend 450 minerals at a crucial point when you could have built another Nexus or another 10 probes with that money, it's worth way more then than it is 15 probes later. We'll talk more about that later, though, because Trigger gets that Prism in the back door. This is the ledge you always have to watch out for on this map. Zealots are up there in the main base. He's going to drop in the natural as well. Dude, the Prism is so annoying on this ledge on this map. You've got to put a turret down here and a turret here. Otherwise, they can just be a massive nuisance. 21 workers. Oh, Clem was just getting to the point where he's fully established. And this is the question I was asking in the last game. Is it maybe worth getting a Prism in there? Was he giving Clem too much respect by just only attacking the front? I think the answer is yes. Because we just had an answer there. Clem left himself open. 21 workers go down. If he left Clem for another minute, Clem has 2 ship weapons, 3 more barracks, and all that sort of stuff. I think the question you guys have to remember is, even in the game where he lost 30 probes, I think it was still decent for Trigger. Because he lost those over like 8-9 minutes. And those later losses really weren't worth that much. Early damage matters a lot. But if you do a bit of a greedy build, like an early Forge, a cannon is actually a good part of the build. Estrella did that really well. Funny thing, I remember he played against Beyond, and Beyond would just avoid the cannon range and still get decent damage though, which I was really impressed by Beyond's adaptability. Oh, Viking's gonna get a Colossus? Clem's fine. Oh my gosh! Oh, so risky. But I guess Clem knows. I mean, that wasn't like a fraction. There was still 0.2, 0.3 of a second left till that detonated, and for Clem, that's an eternity. Trigger's going armor upgrades only now, and plasma shields. He's so slow to get armor upgrades. This is absolutely a mistake for Trigger, and I'm gonna go out and say I know he's playing a tempo style. He wants to keep the pressure on Clem, but I think he left that too long. The armor upgrade. I think he's got to squeeze these armor upgrades in early. There's no way being down 1 or 2 zealots matters that much. Colossus say bye-bye, which means he has no splash damage, like 1 Disruptor and 3 Archons, which will never get a chance to really fire. Not enough. The Disruptor goes down. He does have double Robo Disruptor. I think once you're at this point, you may be worth going triple Robo. And potentially Psy Storm as well. But the question is, what's your late game plan? I imagine Trigger falls into the kind of category of most Protoss players. He doesn't have one. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of Trigger's late game, guys. You know, I've been pretty disrespectful towards Protoss' endgame plans recently. But if there's ever a time to improve your endgame, it's when Terran's turtling to endgame every single game. And that's really something a lot of Protoss players could work on improving. The top players really need to work on it. We've seen Max, Pax, and Hero both take very half-hearted attempts at doing a Tempest Siege with Storm and cannons and batteries outside the opponent's base, but you'll notice Trigger was never playing to the late game. He doesn't have the bank we often see in this scenario. He's still playing in mid-game style. I think those armor upgrades, those EMPs hitting his army, just being so powerful. Clem is miles ahead on paper, even though his worker count's down a little bit. He's got 3 orbitals only, but he's got more command centers coming up. Caduceus Reactor, plus 2 ship weapons for the libs that are going to come out. Lib range will really help secure the position as well. What are the Protoss endgame comps? Well, you can do a Carrier Surprise A move. Doesn't work very well against Clem. He used to lose to it a bit, so he's really good against it because he got angry after losing to it a bunch and basically got good against it. But normally you build Cannon, Battery, Tempest, and Storm. And you siege the Terran with the massive cannons outside their base. A few Disruptors mixed in can be really nice as well. Look at this. Army's just going to get jumped on. Trigger had no bank. He's trying to go to that late game army now, but he's doing it too late as a last resort. He's already lost so many units, so good chance he just gets pushed in now with no Storm to cover his retreat. Trying to rebuild Colossus. They've just been getting hammered by the Vikings. I mean, Colossus are, I think, near worthless in this stage of the game. DTs run in, kill a mule or 2. They don't get much else. Chat says Disruptors do nothing against Clem, apparently. It's not true. They just cost a lot of supply. They're not the end-all, be-all. If you're far enough ahead, they're a really good way of just getting damage. They shoot faster now. People forget that. I'm not saying they're nearly as good as they once were. They're definitely not. Great Storm. But just forcing him to dodge in of itself is something. Like, Corrosive Bile doesn't land that much, but it's still doing something. Every time you force your opponent to move around and dodge, it is achieving things. Colossus going to siege the sensor tower. Disruptor roaming. Oh, he got stuck with his building. Nice Disruptor shot, taking advantage of the command center choke point. Clem with a bit of a doo-doo there. Bit of a mistake. He literally just let Clem build his army while he was nearly maxed. Hard to find a way in, man. His earlier attacks did not go well enough for him, and you can see the trading here. Pretty bad. Disruptors are decent, but this is not really a disruptor army. This is a few disruptors, a few Colossus, a few High Templar. Trigger's trying to use a bit of everything, and if he beats Clem at this stage of the game, I will be massively impressed, because he's trying to do the... This is like what a lot of pros try to do, where they just try to dodge EMPs and drop disruptors and storms, or the Tempest pick at you. But the moment the EMPs land on the High Templar and you don't have any storm, Clem can stim and A-move you. Like, that's the last storm in this army. Oh, he's got another storm, maybe? No, not quite. Disruptor does cover his retreat. But yeah, it's lucky that Trigger's escaping it all here. Disruptor going out. Stalker's trying to defend. Loses Tempest, loses Colossus. So you need to get the lead in the mid-game, and rather than throwing army at Clem, you need to get a big bank and build max cannon out here with lots of splash damage backing it up. And then you have like 6 to 8 Tempest sieging him. And it's one of the most painful ways to play because it's very slow. But there's not much Terran can do about it if you do it properly. And if you have that lead in the mid-game, which we're often seeing Protoss players get because Clem's just so turtly. But in this game, remember, Trigger's lead was in army supply, not workers. Oh, good distraction with the Zealots. Clem with a rare mistake pulls his whole army out of position for a few Zealots. That was a big mistake, but he's got 6 orbitals and a new command center floating out straight away. And these Vikings bullying him. Colossus takes a big few shots. A couple ghosts do wander in and go down. A Tempest falls. That Colossus still alive on like 1 hit point, I think. Yep, it's a 1 hit point Colossus. 1 hit point Colossus. Oh my god, how is it still alive? It finally goes down with no Storm and Disruptors to stop. Here we go. Energy recharge from the left. He's going to try and come in with a flanking Storm, but single Storm on its own is not enough, even though Clement eats a lot of it. And the units lost time exceptionally one-sided. As I said, Trigger is not trying to play late game. He's going here as plan C or plan D. I also think the Colossus in the late game army is one of the worst things you can do. They are dead weight against the Vikings. Once you're going Tempest, your opponent's always going to build a lot of Vikings. I know the reason is because people feel they're the only way to deal with the 125 hit point Colossus, but it's just not worth 6 supply. The Colossus just doesn't do enough damage quickly enough. And if you kill all the Vikings, you know, I think it's worth rebuilding a few of them, but he's never cleared all the Vikings. So by rebuilding Colossus constantly, I think he's just gifting free, easy targets to Clem. Not the most exciting late game in TVP, guys, but it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, Trigger just what I like about Trigger's style, I'm not as frustrated watching this as I am. Because the thing is, he tried to win in the mid game. He could have maybe kept pushing a bit harder. Maybe multi-prong with like a Prism on the right side after that first one got in. Or pivot into Disruptors a little bit harder and really try to shove with the Disruptors. But what I really get annoyed at is the Protoss players who go 85 probes, bank 10,000 resources, and then don't commit to the Cannon Battery Tempest, right? For Trigger, he's never had back. He's never had the money to go for that Cannon Battery Tempest siege, so it's much more understandable here. DTs come in, 11 SCVs go down. Clem's not too concerned. He's got 6 orbitals. +0. I mean, no, you can't go carriers from here. Like Trigger's been way behind going to late game. He's got +2 actually, which I'm surprised he did that. You need to, if you're going to do carriers, you've got to do like a 7 Stargate swap where you very patiently wait for a fight and then you hard swap into like 7 or maybe even 10 Stargate carrier. Like you need to basically surprise him with the carriers, catch them with like a lot of Marauders and Liberators and things that aren't really designed to face that army. The carrier swap is absolutely a surprise tactic against someone of Clem's caliber. Against a lesser Terran, you can make carriers work if you've got good micro and the Terran's not well practiced against it, but Clem's played quite a few games against carriers and he hasn't really shown much weakness to it. Classic tried it against him a few times and he shut it down pretty hard. Lib's trying to siege to the right. Storm does nothing. On its own, it does nothing. For sure, it just buys time on its own. That's why you have cannons, batteries, tempests, and storms. If your opponent's chasing you through storms while tempests shoot at them, that's where storm's effective. Problem with this army is it's got no staying power. There's no punish. If you chase this army, all you really have to worry about is 2 or 3 High Templar, And as long as you dodge, avoid those storms, the army just gets jumped on, right? That's why you really need to have that big mid-game bank advantage to make that work. How's the new storm looking? A lot of people think it's better in the mid-game, but I think everyone agrees it's worse in the end game because the damage output's not as high. Dude! Clem! Clem just threw his army into the disruptors! What's he doing? What the hell was that? Clem just crapped his pants! He just, I don't know why he was out here in the first place, but he just ate 2 giant disruptors. Trigger's gonna win this game! Oh my god, Trigger just basically was trying to be annoying. Clem, he literally he got lazy. He was crushing Trigger so hard, he got lazy. We will be replaying that whole sequence at the end of this game. I watched so many boring PVTs. Even Clem got bored. There's no other excuse for what he just did other than he just let his guard down. He's going to nuke that right side base. He just threw away so much army. Vikings come forward. Ooh, decent Viking. Oh, he goes too far, though. Goes too far. Does get another Tempest, though. Got to be careful, man. The Stalkers will pick you off. Nuke's going to clear a few cannons. Probes and Zealots do pull away, but now he can shift-click the probes, which is not a bad way to do it. Look at this. Yep. He's like, all right, let's go. Shift-click. Does he not shift-click? Wait, does Clem not know how to shift-click, guys? He keeps looking back at this and manually targeting them. What the heck? That is so weird. Any other pro shift-clicks those probes, makes sure it's not in their army control group, and looks elsewhere. Clem looked at his army, looked back at it, targeted another probe. Looked back at his army, looked back at it, targeted. This is how, like, it's so effortless for Clem to multitask. He doesn't even use shift when, like, anyone else would use shift. Zealot Templar run by. Clem's still got a giant army rebuild, so he should still be able to win the game, but, like, now he's in a more fragile spot. There's no planetary, so the bottom left is always vulnerable to Zealot run-bys. And he doesn't have a huge bank to rebuild. He's still in a good spot, I think, but his army's also pretty damaged. His Vikings are half landed on the ground, which I don't think is correct. Oh, he came in with a flanking ghost, but there's still 5 High Templar with energy up there and 2 on the right side. Disruptor goes out on the right side. Time Warp goes down. Do not chase through Time Warp. He's chasing through Time Warp and Storm. I mean, the Vikings are doing good damage, but holy moly. Clem's got an Omega Stiffy and it just jams it, and it might just work out. Man just chased through friggin' Time Warp Storm. No F's given. Tempest and the Mothership, just no match for 17 Vikings. He only lost 5 Vikings there. Got rid of all the Tempest Mothership. And you can see how the Storm against air units especially, even though it covers a bigger area, which is really nice, it's just a bit lower impact with a lower DPS than it used to have in his late game battles. Dude, Clem's micro is so good. Sorry, guys. Normally damaged health bars is not this ugly, but there's just so many damaged units on the screen. There's so many, and Clem is just refusing to get hit by storms, chasing with this army, running around. So we always talk about storms in late game and what their function is. Great Liberator on the left. The goal of storms is to stop the Terran being able to just YOLO forwards and jump on you. That's why they need to come from multiple angles, so they can't easily be EMP'd. And you just keep coming in with a High Templar from the side and just landing a storm. And another High Templar comes to the other side and it storms. And that's kind of where the big giant spread of High Templar is really good. Also, having cannons is really good because they are detection without supply cost, which is really necessary against late game Cloak. Because otherwise, they just start bullying you. If your Observer dies or it's a bit too far back, they come forward, they ghost snipe, the EMP, and they really smash. So, yeah, Clem tried to throw that game, but he wasn't quite able, guys. Let's take a look at that fight again. So here at 20 minutes, Clem decided to split his army. A little bit unnecessarily, I would say, especially with how big the split was. But he was like, yeah, whatever, let's do it. And then he says, wait a second. You think you're coming back to hunt my army? I'm going to actually close the trap on you. So he comes forward, tries to run away from those units there on that side. Gets on top of these. He does walk through Storm, and he even siege. Oh my god, that Storm actually did so much damage as well. He eats an entire Storm on the right side. He's still fine here. Until, watch this beauty. He cloaks, goes forward. This is the sniper, the High Templar I was talking about. And he's like, cool, your army doesn't have Storm, therefore it's bad. Trigger shouts, balls! Drops trousers, turns around, tucks that Frau upside down, and gives him the old ball-tastic explosion to the face. Zealots charge on top. And that was a really bad fight. Really bad fight for Clem. But still ends up having enough money to recover, survive against the counter, and win the game. GG, well played. Trigger, I don't think wants to go to late game again in this series. All right, guys, Trigger in the bottom left side. Clem in the top right on Old Republic. An excellent couple of games there for Clem. And on this map, I feel like he's just going to turtle again. I think it's really about how Trigger stops Clem doing the same thing he's doing every game. And we were talking about it a bit. Like, don't get me wrong. We all know Terran is a bit... we're talking about balance there. Some people are very angry about, obviously, and it does look kind of silly, those late game fights. Some people will point out, like, you know, the Storm DPS getting nerfed. It's like one of the few reliable damage sources in late game, so it really hurts Protoss. And yeah, I've been saying for a while, losing that in end game is an issue. But it's 25 hit point buff on Ghosts, entirely unnecessary. Especially when it went back to 2 supply from 3 in the same patch, and the Viking got a 25 mineral buff. There's like a lot of changes that went down that aren't necessary. That being said, for my games, when I'm playing both Protoss and Terran, I still tend to win more with Protoss than Terran when we play late game. And I think that should be the experience for a lot of players out there on the ladder, because thankfully, the control that Clem does is very difficult to pull off. Very, very, very difficult. I'm not saying the late game Protoss army is an easy piece of cake either. But yeah, I'm a big fan of, like, often I do very well with just Storm, Disruptor, well upgraded Zealots in the late game. And that mid game, oh, it's a good time for Protoss. There's a lot of things you can run away with. I think for Trigger, the biggest things I want to see is an earlier second Forge. I think it's a travesty that he's not got +2 armor. His Zealots are just disappearing way too quickly, and that's such a big pain. I'd also like to see him activate a Guardian Shield and manually try to move that sentry forward to keep it in range of the Zealots as much as possible. Because it's doing stuff, but it would just be really nice to not just block some Viking damage, but also a lot of the Marine Marauder damage. The other thing I'd really like to see is... yeah, I don't really want to see you go to late game on this map. It's giant. You can do Cannon Battery Tempest Storm on this map. If you do that, you probably need to build it, like, out here. You could try from this ridge, but it's a bit far away from the base. It's kind of hard to siege. If you siege from here, you'd have to siege forward this way. I don't think Trigger's going to do it either way. Reaper gets a probe. Does he pay with his life? Oh, he does! That's 2 games in a row. Clem's been losing his Reaper. Makes the early game much harder. PVT is 28%. Oh, that's rough, dude. What style are you playing? Are you doing Blink into Colossus, or are you playing like Storm Zealot, or what? For me, I'm still like my Oracle into Zealot style is still doing really, really well, but I was playing a bit of a bunch of Blink recently when I did my Hero Challenge 2 weeks ago, and that was really fun. Because I was always trying to do like Zealot Adept Pressure, and then I was trying to YOLO with Blink Stalkers a bit more, and the games were very chaotic, but really fun. My main advice whenever you're stuck in PvT is more Zealots and more upgrades for those Zealots and more mineral focus. Even if you open Blink, you can still open Blink and play like a double Forge Zealot after. I think it's one of the most powerful styles, and most Terrans really struggle with it. The thing you got to watch out for at the moment is Banshees are pretty popular. So if you are playing one of those greedy mineral focus builds... Sorry, I really should commentate this. Adept goes down. Who wins? Yeah, I think that was good defense, honestly. I think a lesser Terran takes a lot of damage, but not losing the Stalker, you only traded your Adept, I think you're totally fine. And, once again, super quick third Nexus. Clem has put no fear in Trigger. This is what I was talking about, guys. He's put no fear in him. No fear in him at all. You can't take this third constantly like this unless you really feel you can get away with something. I also think SCV pulls can be good against this style, but look how fast he goes 4 gas after as well. He's going to go quick splash damage again. Yeah, I go Colossus, never Stargate, Storm only later. I think Colossus are just... Colossus are really good for pro players, and they can work very well for average Joes, but you really need to like focus on your timing attacks and your stutter step micro. And I just am not that good at either of those things. So I try not to focus on it. Oh, guys, he gets rid of the medevac there and both Widowmines. Yes, he loses a Stalker, but only 1 probe. That's a good shutdown for Trigger. That removes Clem's presence other than a single Hellion, which is not really a serious threat. And he knows he's ahead, so he drops a Forge. It's not... Last time it was 3rd gate and a Robot. This time it's a Forge. His Forge keeps getting earlier and earlier, which I can only hope means he gets a 2nd Forge earlier as well. think Trigger's realizing like Clem's just in this like very vanilla turtle mode of Terran, and I need to really get a bit more of an edge earlier. Yeah, I would advise delay your splash damage. Even if you want to play Colossus, I really think you should try to win PvT without splash damage, because that's the big thing. For players who have mental blocks in PvT or just a matchup deficiency, I say just start trying to win without using splash damage for a while. And because even when I'm playing pros and I get ahead with my like greedy zealot builds, usually the way I lose is trying to go splash damage too early. Whereas if I just double down on chronoing upgrades and go straight to 3-3, and I take 5 bases and just like 16 gateways of zealots with some blink stalkers, I can almost always win with that. And I've had really close games with like quite a few pro gamers with that style. Even gave Cure a run for his money one time in one game. Managed to, of course, beat Beyond in that one map. Should have really won the other game in that series as well. But Gateway Man style is really good because it teaches you to use your zealots a lot better. That's what most players are missing against Terran. It's kind of like when a Zerg player is stuck defending all game, and they complain that Terran just gets to go first and attack all the time. And I always go like, oh, you've forgotten about how good Ling Bane run-bys are. So a lot of Zergs will send Ling Bane run-bys in, but if it doesn't kill a lot of stuff and trade efficiently, they think it's a waste. I guarantee you the Terran makes so many mistakes. Every time you do a Ling Bane run-by or click a few Zealots in a base, the Terran misses a depot, misses mules, misses SCVs, misses an upgrade. Like, so if you just keep clicking like 2 Zealots in the third, 2 Zealots in the natural, wait for their army to move out, 10 Zealots attack the natural. Same thing with Ling Bane. Just click a few Zerglings and Banes in every now and then. It forces a much higher APM cost from your opponent than what you have to use, and that's one of the biggest disadvantages Terran has, is it's hard to like do all the things correctly as Terran. So that's what you want to take advantage of, because Terran, I think a good simple way to summarize Terran, you guys let me know if you agree with this, is good cancel on the 4th, by the way, and I will commentate the game from now on. Sorry about this, just want to help some people in chat at the same time. If Terran can micro everything perfectly and focus on what they want to at the time they want to, they will always win. But if you strain their attention, they will make so many mistakes and their army will perform like hot garbage. And that's why I always, you know, like for me, a lot of how I define my strategies and my strengths is I think about it when I'm playing Terran, I get really mad. My opponent just keeps distracting me because it feels like it's impossible to get my army to actually not perform terribly. Is he going to drop on the Colossus? Oh, Clem wants to drop on the Colossus. The mad lad is going to come in behind and he's going to drop behind when the fight starts. He's thinking about it. He wants Trigger to commit to a fight out here so the drop can come in behind and unload on the Colossus. This is such a crazy move, but Trigger wisely gives up the base. Unfortunately, Trigger does not have a second forge, but he's got a Templar Archives. He is stuck on 3 base, so he hasn't managed to get that economy up that we really thought he would have liked, and I think he might be regretting going for such an early forge, as even though his upgrades are better this time, doesn't get the 4th. Then again, he does have a 2 Colossus timing coming across the map, which could be excellent. I mean, it's his timing attacks that he's focusing the win condition on. If he can get a 2 Colossus timing in, maybe he could trade really well with +2 attack. Bio tank hanging out. Second eBay, Armory, second Starport, Ghost Academy. Final point on that advice I was giving before this Archon timing hits, guys. I think if you end up doing that style and then transitioning into a more vanilla splash damage style, you'll be better at doing Zealot run-bys while your main splash army's wrecking them. And it just makes you a much scarier player to play. Trigger goes for a drop. Clem is more than ready for it. Trigger's got +2, almost there. Third Colossus on the way. He's waiting for that +2, 15 seconds. I don't think he can break him. But Clem's struggling to track the army. He's not sure which ramp he's going to come up. Trigger's just keeping him pinned for now. There's no ghost with the army. Good split on the army. Oh, Clem, a bit slow to react, mate. A bit slow. Where's the stim? He's still not stimmed. What the hell? Why is he not stimming? Zealot's coming from the right side as well. Was this a hotkey mistake? What the hell was going on there, guys? He just got absolutely minced. absolutely mint. Zealots from the right was fantastic. The Colossus do go down, and the Sentry will finally fall, but that was crazy. Wow, I've never seen Clem so late to a stim. I mean, you don't want to panic stim, but that's insane. Auto turret comes in with a double harassment there. 4th command center gets canceled. Clem's dead. That was such a huge mistake. I think Clem was, I think his hand moved to the wrong spot on the keyboard. That's because you could see him moving the units back, and you could see there was like the keyboard's not responding. The thing is not happening the way it's supposed to happen. You could tell this is not what he was expecting his units to do. So we're on Clem's camera, okay? This is Clem's camera. So he's putting guys on gas. He goes, oh crap. Pulls to the side, starter steps, A moves, starter steps, A moves, still hasn't stimmed. He selected his Raven. Oh no! He was trying to stim, but the Raven was selected. We just saw the Raven multiple times was showing up down here in the wireframe. Oh no! Does that mean either the Raven was on his army control group, or he F2'd to control his army? I'm not sure which one it was. Oh, this is like a noob killer. This gets me all the time. I didn't think this would get Clem. Oh, that's crazy, man. Because you can see, guys, so he's pulling back, and then he panic F2s because he's like, I need all the reinforcements on the front. He even queued up a few units on his production there. And actually, but now the Raven's only selected now. He keeps selecting the Raven and then selecting his army. No, I don't even think the Raven was on the same control group. He's sending it across the map for some reason. I don't even know. I would need to speak to Clem to be sure. Something weird happened to him, man. So late on the stim, and he just takes so much damage before the fight even really gets going. Whereas imagine if these buyers started to step back, could have created a bit of distance, and cleared those zealots a bit quicker, and tried to get everything together. But good dive by Trigger. He forced a lot of units to be dedicated down here in the natural to defend the Prism, and then he goes in, and he ties up the series 2-2 with the +2 Colossus timing. All right, guys, Trigger in the top right. He's going gate gas. He's going to check for eBay block a little bit. Oh, no. Does he see it? Oh, he's going to see it. Right? Oh, he does see it. Oh, he sees it. He anticipates the eBay block from Clem. Nice start to game 5. And now Clem, he should just not block it. He should just... Why is he still here? Mate. Dude, he doesn't have money for a Nexus until a minute 25. Because he's pulled 2 probes down. I guess a minute 22. So Clem just made a basic timing error, guys. Oh, but he ends up going in because the Cybercore goes down first, actually. Oh, never mind. Trigger just always likes Cybercore first because he likes to get the early adept. Never mind. So no real effective delay there. This is basic timing mistake there, guys. You should always know they're never going to have money for the Nexus before a minute 20, I think is a good general rule. Especially not if they sent a probe down there. Pig, do you like traveling for events? I love traveling for events because I don't do it that much anymore. You bring me back to 2018? 2017? One of those years. I think it was 2017. One of the years where it was like so many events would come up at the last minute. Like there were times where I'd get like literally messages and they'd be like, hey, do you want to come do IEM Taipei? And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. Isn't that like, they're like, yeah, can you get on a plane in like 12 hours? And I'm like, I guess. I'm like... yeah, that sort of schedule, I don't know if I could keep up anymore. And then I'm like, I get there and I'm there for like 48 hours, cast 2 days of an event, and then immediately get on a plane and leave, you know. Times were like 3 days before the StarCraft 20-year anniversary, they contacted me. They're like, we need you for this event. And I'm like, mate, I've got like events planned around this. Flew to San Fran and back for, I think I was in San Fran for like 30 hours. It was maybe 36, maybe a day and a half. Plane straight to the venue, back to the hotel that night, venue to hotel the next day. It was madness. No, it's more chill now. I like my old man schedule now. When I do travel, I really appreciate it. Stalker's going to push back the Reaper Alien. No losses on either side. We've got a battery in the main. Blink's on the way as well. Merrick Starport Factory. There was one during that time, especially the Chinese events. These days you can just get like a visa on arrival or something in China or whatever. You can just visit from Australia, but back in the day, I used to have to go to the bloody Chinese visa office and spend like a whole day in there multiple times a year just to get a single entry. And then 6 months later, I'd have to go do it again. And I'd calculated it once. Oh, is he going to get past the Stalker? No, this is too dangerous. He's going to try and gang up on the Stalker. If he could bounce this one with a grenade, that'd be great. Well worth trading one of these units for a Stalker. Hey, good play there by Clem, being very annoying. Trigger will not be scared away from the fast third, even now against a double gas build. Wait. Guys, he hasn't scouted at all. He's playing double gas, and he's still going to go 2-gate into a bloody third Nexus at 4 minutes. The greed knows no bounds. Clem's expecting him to play respectful. And Trigger's just like, lol, you're just camping to late game and stuff. I don't need to play respectfully. I can just do whatever I want. Because I know you're not going to do a tank all-in. I think this is the big weakness, right? Clem talked about this a few months ago. He was saying you got to do tank all-ins. They don't feel the most reliable, but if you don't mix in some fast 2-base tank pushes, Protoss will be disgustingly greedy. And I think that's what he's letting happen here right now. Normally, to give you guys context, against a double gas build, you will build 4 gateways and a Twilight and an upgrade and often a Robo sometimes before taking a third base. I mean, it depends on your build order and stuff. It's different for everybody, but like you'll see Hero open 3-gate charge, rush charge, and make as many Zealots as he can to secure the third. Clem here, not finding the damage. He's going to go for a Banshee and 3 Marines at a time. This is a reaction to seeing the fast third. Okay, so he is going to go for a tank push. It's not something he was planning to do, but now he's going to do it. He'll probably pull 6 SCVs with this second tank. It's about to pop out. He does need to build more Marines as well. Banshee starts, a few more Marines. Third barracks was unnecessary. Would have been better to squeeze a few more Marines in there. He's looking for the Observer. He knows Trigger. He can't let Trigger see this. He sees it. Does he see it? No. Oh, he does. He sees it. He scans it. He takes care of it, and he's going to move out now. Trigger has a shield battery on the natural, but he's making a fast forge. He is making charge, and he does have 4 gateways. But does he realize what this means? Yes. Look at this. He's like, hey, you're going to move out left. He anticipates. Trigger, he splits his Stalkers. He's not sure, but he sees it. Great play by Trigger and amazing anticipation. He's got 6 Stalkers. Can he stop this push, though? This is a fearsome army. Clem is done with your greed, you crazy boy. He's done with these silly Canadians. These silly Canadians and their maple syrup greed, man. Trying to absorb all the sweet mineral syrup on this map. It's a lot of Stalkers, though. Can he get the tank? Tank goes down. Tank number one goes down. The Banshee goes down as well. The Marines are doing good damage. That probe comes forward. It does go down. The shield battery will fall as well. It's a lot of Marines here. But once that tank goes down, he's in trouble. Widowmine did fire, killed 5 probes. Nice play there. Is there another tank behind this? There is another tank, but it's pretty far away. It's not going to be here for a while. He could maybe move the Banshee forward, try and pick up some probes or the Reaper. But he's got to be careful because these Stalkers, you know they're going to blink forward. He scans. He wants the Observer. Doesn't quite get it. Trigger doesn't know if there's more tanks coming now, so it's scary for him to commit in. And he blinks backwards, which means Trigger, oh, he's going to go for it now. But he's already used his blink defensively. The Stalkers are kind of getting blocked there by the Marines and the tanks. But the charge is now kicked in as well. Marines and Banshee and Reaper are all going to go down. Widowmine drop will go back in at the same time. Behind this, Stim, Shields, are not on the way, only shields, and that was a bit of a derpy drop, which Trigger could easily respond to if he's paying attention. Probe might be able to kill that. Widowmine is going to pick up, drop in the main to try and distract. Reaper pulls back. So a few Marines and Marauders, third commands, and Stim hasn't started. Stim has not started, guys. The gas shortage is crazy for Clem in this game because he built so many tanks and Banshees, but only on 3 gases. We have seen people play 4 gas off this build. And I remember the first time I saw it, I was always questioning. I was like, why are they building 4 gas? But without Stim, he's going to get jumped on. The Zealots pull back here after tanking some damage. The Stalkers can blink away. Nice harassment. Deals with the bunker. There is a tank on the high ground, though. He could siege up on the edge, and that should secure the position. Oh, he's going to try and go for a Marine drop. But I think with the siege tank, he'll be okay. The barracks do finish building. 4th Nexus. Wow, Trigger, 60 probes. 4th Nexus goes down. Marine drop. It's going to get spotted by the Zealots. Stalkers could recall. Or he could just warp in to deal with it, maybe. Trigger is supply blocked right now, though. Should be building a few more pylons. That pylon will allow 4 Zealots to warp in. Oh, he's going to go for an attack. I thought Trigger noticed this. Did he not notice this? There's no Stim. The Marines are going to intercept and kill a bunch of these probes. There's going to be a big Zealot drop into the main base. You can see these other Zealots are there. Prism goes to the main. Stalker Zealot wants to attack this side. Trigger right now, he says, I don't care. I'm going to get you. Stim's not done yet. I can't believe Stim's not done yet. The SCVs are going to block up really nicely on the natural. SCV's trying to pull away from the main. Stim would change everything right now, but the Siege Tank's going to do a lot of friendly fire, potentially to his own SCVs. Already, 22 workers have gone down. Clem tries to redrop, but the Zealots are going to clean that up this time around. Zealots hiding in the main. The Stalkers picking off a barracks on the natural. 26 workers have gone down. The Stalkers will finally recall. The Marine drop has to leave, but 26 workers, 28 workers. He's not done yet. The Siege Tank slaughtering our own boys. Finally, those Zealots get cleaned up, but not before 29 workers have gone down. That being said, there is triple orbital mule, but the drop goes down, and Trigger has free reign. Trigger can chrono probes. Trigger can take a 5th base, but Trigger's not even going to do that. Trigger's going to keep going aggressive. I really think +1 armor is going to happen. I guess it's a cost concern. Colossus is on the way. I think you go, yeah, you tech up. You got 4 gas. Probe the 4th, build a 5th. Prism's in the main, pick it off 3 more SCVs. The Viking will stop him, but the Zealots will redrop, pick off a few Marines and a Marauder. Oh, damn. Clem's gonna tap out. His double drop gets spotted over there. Wow. His drop gets spotted as well. And he's just like, dude, I'm screwed. Oh, it wasn't even a double. It was a triple drop. It was a triple drop. One of them gets shot down. Oh, my gosh. Well, this game went down in a handbasket. I think his push was not terrible, but his follow-up was sloppy. I think if we have to clearly analyze that, the lack of stim was a big mistake, and just the follow-up in general. I think the thing is, he didn't plan to do this build. He did it reactively, but I think you're meant to go extra gases here when you're building non-stop tank Banshee, right? And you could see he was cutting SCVs here to try and get more like Marines and tanks and Banshees, so a little bit of SCV cut here or there. But I guess he just needed to get an earlier 3rd and 4th gas so that he could keep up this this follow-up and actually go for stim, shields, +1, and all that sort of stuff. Hats off to Trigger, man. Trigger's looking really good in the mid-game. And perhaps Clem gave him a bit too much respect early. He finally tried to punish him here with this push. Maybe if he'd beeline towards it even earlier, it would have been, you know, even harder for Trigger to stop. But hats off to him. Hats off to Trigger for intercepting this side. Really good play for Trigger. Gets himself a best-of-5 victory and makes his way to the semifinals of the Rongyi Cup. GG, well played, legends.